Unworthy rich girl, works related. The unpromising giant female support, rebirth, author, Chestnut. Copywriter 1. Du Yue, a daughter of the Du family, who grew up in good clothes, only tasted what it was like to have no money before she died. Once again, she will no longer play a vicious female partner in the love between Pan Jing and Zhang Xingzi. She just wants to protect her family and their money and spend her life as a rich man in an ordinary way. Huyo found out that no matter how hard she was to blow Du Yue's ears recently, she couldn't get in, and jumped anxiously. Du Yue, why are you so worthless? Du Yue, I don't want to pay, I want a small amount of money, just a little bit. Copywriter 2. After rebirth, Du Yue found that after being far away from Pan Jing and Zhang Xingzi, the sky was bluer, the water was sweeter, the money was more money, and the world was better. Until she met Zhang Xiaoyan, who was frightened by the news. The true boss of the Zhang family in the legend could not provoke 100 million times more than Zhang Xingzi. Du Yue, I'm done, can I do it again? Zhang Xiaoyan, don't ask, it is impossible to ask. Copywriter 3. Zhang Xiaoyan relied on listening to the same song to relieve his pain during countless nights suffering from severe headaches. Later, he finally found the person who sang this song, Du Yue, the most unpromising daughter of the Du family in the legend. When the illness broke out again, he confined Du Yue between his arms, pressed it to her ear and said, "Speak out." Zhang Xiaoyan is sick and Du Yue is the only medicine. Content tag, Rebirth Suite 1 Shuang 1. Search keywords, protagonist, Du Yue, Zhang Xiao, word supporting role, Mr. Yi wants to confess to me every day, others, Rebirth, Suite 1, Shuang 1. Introduction. Du Yue jumped from Sanqin Bay and was reborn half a year ago. Once again, she is determined not to be a vicious female partner in other people's love, and just wants to be an ordinary rich man. Unexpectedly, because of a fortune-telling, she strengthened Zhang Xiaoyan, the real boss of the Zhang family. Zhang Xiaoyan suffers from severe PTSD because of a painful memory, and Du Yue's singing is the only medicine to relieve his pain. The prelude to the destined fate between the two people. This article is fast-paced, refreshing and laughing. It is a rebirth article worth reading. The author's narrative style is humorous and the characters are clearly portrayed. After being reborn, the heroine finds what she really wants to pursue, works hard for her family, love, and career, and realizes her life value. Unworthy Rich Girl Chapter 1. In the early summer afternoon in May, the air is full of the smell of clean sunshine. Du Yue, the daughter of the Du family, has been sitting on her big bed for half an hour. On the day of the first snowfall in City A, she jumped from Sanqin Bay, and the overwhelming sea water poured into her body. Du Yue knew she was dead. But when she opened her eyes again, she returned to her big bed, the sun was shining outside the window, and there was no trace of heavy snow. She spent half an hour thinking about it, and felt that there were only two possibilities. 1. The memory of the previous half-year was a terrible nightmare she had. 2. She was born again. Although Du Yue's grades are not good, she is still a good young man who advocates science. Only her mother believes those things that are weird, so she thinks, she is really reborn. With a sound of hula, the wind blew open the concealed window. Du Yue glanced out, opened the thin cover and walked over. This window in her bedroom is the best place to overlook the garden in the entire villa. Whether it is a large swath of flowers, a neatly manicured lawn, or a fountain carved with Nordic goddesses, you can have a panoramic view. Du Yue propped her hands on the window sill, and when the next breeze blew, she raised her head and took a deep sniff. 6 months ago, their family was driven out of this villa and lived a life worse than a beggar. But now, she is back. Nothing has happened yet, and she will never let them happen again. Du Yue raised her lips and turned to go to the cloakroom. She has a total of 5 cloakrooms, 4 of which are the latest clothes, shoes, hats, bags and various accessories displayed in accordance with the spring, summer, autumn and winter, and the remaining one is dedicated to pajamas. Because she didn't plan to go out today, she found a set of home clothes for herself to change, and then took the elevator to the garden of the villa. Du Yue likes to watch flowers, drink tea and walk the dog in the garden, so the family built a sun room for her in the garden. There are swings, tables and chairs, and people are waiting for her. The three big dogs that had been playing on the lawn saw Du Yue coming out and rushed to her. When Du Yue's family was driven out of the villa, the three big dogs she raised were also taken away. She did not dare to think about who took it away and where. She and her family had a miserable life after that, let alone the three dogs. Bow. Three big dogs gathered around her feet, licking her calf. Du Yue gave them a big hug and rubbed their dog head affectionately. 1-1-2-2, Jean Handsome. 1-2-2, and Jean Jun are the names Du Yue gave to these two German shepherds and one golden retriever. The golden retriever was the last to come. Everyone thought that its name would be Sanson, but Du Yue was such a maverick. Woman. Miss, the afternoon tea is ready, do you want to use it now? Seeing Du Yue's rise, the butler walked over and asked. Du Yue's eyes lit up slightly, let go of the big dog in her arms, and nodded to the housekeeper, okay. Du Yue's afternoon tea has always been the responsibility of the butler. He may not be as good as Du's chef for dinner, but it is definitely Michelin level for some small desserts. Du Yue's afternoon tea today is a strawberry cake, a stack of cookies, a cup of black tea, and of course, her favorite puff. Housekeeper Wu, the puffs you made are really delicious. The skin is baked very crispy and the cream inside is not greasy at all. The four-color puffs prepared by the housekeeper are strawberry, chocolate, matcha and vanilla cream. Taste. Du Yue likes the taste of matcha most, and is the first to eat it. Thank you miss for the compliment. Butler Wu bowed to Du Yue, and stood upright on the side. Du Yue licked her fingers reluctantly after eating the matcha-flavored puffs. This behavior surprised the housekeeper Wu who was used to the big scene. Du Yue didn't care about her own image. During the days when she could only eat moldy bread, she wanted to eat another bite of puffs made for her by the butler in her dreams. Steward Wu, when are you free, teach me to make this puff. Butler Wu was surprised again. Seeing Du Yue's expression as usual just now, he thought she was okay, but she was licking her fingers and learning puffs. It seems that the incident really hit her hard. Miss, you want to eat, just tell me to do it whenever you want. Du Yue did not agree. It is better to learn by yourself, after all, you can't stay by my side forever. Butler Wu now wants to call an ambulance for Du Yue. He considered his words and wanted to comfort her tactfully. Before he could think of a statement, the maid Chiu came over. Miss Sun Xiaoxiao is here. Yue, I'm coming. Sun Xiaoxiao walked out from behind the maid and saw Du Yue sitting in her sunshine room having afternoon tea, and her three big dogs were lying at her feet. Dozing in the sun. Du Yue held the teacup and looked back at her. Sun Xiaoxiao is the third young lady of the Sun family. Because she studied at the same university, the two have close contacts. But she was the one who kept provoked discord in her ears, which made her annoy Zhang Shengzi and ended up committing suicide by jumping into the sea. But Sun Xiaoxiao retreated in Zhang Shengzi's anger, and pushed all the pots to her and Du's family. Du Yue suppressed the emotions in her heart, raised her lips and smiled at her. Xiaoxiao is here. Wang. The golden retriever, who was lying on his stomach, stood up and barked in her direction after smelling Sun Xiaoxiao's scent. Sun Xiaoxiao paused at her feet, and stood still not daring to leave. Yue, your golden retriever is so fierce. Du Yue smiled and put down the teacup, and touched Jean Mao's head. Really? Jean Jun is usually the most docile of the three dogs, but I don't know why, every time he sees you, he is very irritable. Speaking of this, Du Yue couldn't help but laugh at herself. Even Jean Jun could see that Sun Xiaoxiao was not a good person, and she was used as a gun by her like a fool in her previous life. Wang. Du Yue's touch also failed to appease Jean Jun, it was still hostile to Sun Xiaoxiao. Yue, take them away, I'm afraid. Sun Xiaoxiao hid behind the maid and did not dare to come over. Du Yue sighed and said to her, well, since you are scared, I will let people take them down. Chiu, you can take them back to the room. Chiu responded and led the three big dogs back into the house. On the first floor of the Du's villa, there is a room specially decorated for the three big dogs, which is spacious and bright with everything you need. Sun Xiaoxiao saw the dog being led away, so she walked to Du Yue and sat down. Yue, you didn't come to school today. I was a little worried about you, so I came to see you specially. Du Yue's eyebrows moved, and finally remembered something. She didn't go to school because she slapped Pan Jing under Sun Xiaoxiao's provocation the day before, and then Pan Jing's boyfriend Zhang Xingze slapped the slap back in public, making her the laughing stock of the whole school. Damn, couldn't she come back one day early? Yue, Zhang Xingze was really too much this time. Anyway, he also had a marriage contract with you beforehand, how could he give you such a heavy hand? Sun Xiaoxiao looked like he was embarrassing Du Yue, but Du Yue now sees it. When she came out, she hoped that she would seek revenge on Pan Jing and Zhang Xingze again. She took a mouthful of puffs before she said to Sun Xiaoxiao, a baby kiss that no one takes seriously is not a marriage contract. Anyway, I don't like Zhang Xingze. He will be with whomever he loves to be with. But the whole school knows that he had a baby kiss with you, now Pan Jing. Actually, I have always had a little question. Who do you think spread out the fact that Zhang Xingze and I had a baby kiss? Sun Xiaoxiao was taken aback, looked at her and said, isn't it Pan Jing that bitch? Then how did Pan Jing know? It is estimated that Zhang Xingze told her. Why would Zhang Xingze tell his girlfriend this kind of thing? Only he knows this, maybe he has to explain it clearly to her. Du Yue smiled. Before Pan Jing, Zhang Xingze had already dated several girlfriends. He wanted to confess, and he also confessed these. Why did he want to confess a baby relative that he himself had forgotten? In the last life, she believed Sun Xiaoxiao's nonsense, thinking that everything was Pan Jing's ghost. Now think about it, maybe it was Sun Xiaoxiao spreading it. Yue, you can't just leave it like that. You don't know what the campus forum will look like. Sun Xiaoxiao took Du Yue's hand and persuaded her with all her heart. Du Yue withdrew her hand and smiled at Sun Xiaoxiao. Xiaoxiao, do you know that I like this garden best? You smell it, what's the smell here? Sun Xiaoxiao didn't know what medicine she sold in the gourd, but she still cooperated and said, it's the fragrance of flowers. The garden of Du's house is well maintained, with flowers blooming all year round, and the fragrance of flowers can be smelled from far away. Du Yue hooked her lips and looked at her and said, no, it's the smell of money. She was born with a golden spoon in her childhood, and never knew what suffering in the world is, but Zhang Xingze let her really walk in this world. The Zhang family has a big family, and Zhang Xingze doesn't have much status in the Zhang family, but it annoys him and makes the Du family fall apart in an instant. An egg can't touch a stone. To live again, Du Yue dare not say how much she has grown, but at least she will not provoke the Zhang family again. She just wanted to keep the Du's and Du's money and be an ordinary rich man. Xiao, you don't need to tell me about Pan Jing and Zhang Xingze in the future. Sun Xiaoxiao moved her eyes, and followed Du Yue's words, well, I won't mention them in the future. You have a good rest today, and I won't bother you. Yeah. Du Yue nodded and asked to send her out. Just as Sun Xiaoxiao left, Du Yue's mother Jiang Manlin came over again. Seeing Du Yue drinking tea and eating, her mood seemed to be much better than yesterday. Jiang Manlin was a little relieved. Yue, did your classmates come to chat with you just now? Du Yue saw Jiang Manlin, and there was another wave in her heart. Her parents and elder brother have always been very kind to her. The Du family has been doing business by duty, and the family could have lived happily. But it was because of her willfulness that ruined everything. Mom, what's the matter? Du Yue asked her with a smile. Jiang Manlin touched her soft hair and smiled. She knew that Du Yue had been wronged, but it was indeed Du Yue who hit someone first yesterday. Even if they asked for the Zhang family theory, it would not be reasonable. In desperation, she had to find another way, that's it. Mom helped you to tell the fortune in the morning. The fortune-telling master said that you have bad luck recently. If you want to change your fate, you have to get closer to the tiger. Du Yue. Yes, her mother also asked her to do fortune-telling in the last life. At that time, she was immersed in the sorrow of being humiliated, and angered her mother, and then drove the person away. She knows that her mother is also worried about her, and it is rare to be born again, so let's be a better behaved daughter in this life, okay, no problem. Unworthy Rich Girl Chapter 2. If she knows that her mother's so-called change of life is to let her run to Lisa Park to feed the mosquitoes at night, Du Wei must also be a rebellious female goose in her life, smiley face. Yesterday Jiang Manlin found her and said that the master had confessed that she was going to change her life to be close to the tiger. Jiang Manlin thought about where to get a tiger for a long time, and finally sent Du Wei to Lisa Park. There is an architectural sculpture hall in Lisa Park. On the large lawn outside the hall, a big tiger is carved out of stone. Du Wei is now sitting under the tiger statue, feeding the mosquitoes. "Mom, can you go back?" Du Wei held her mobile phone and made a desperate video call with her mother. Jiang Manlin shook her head at the camera, and said earnestly, "No," the master said, "you have to stay from 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock, 2 hours, no less than a second." Du Wei. It's best not to let her know which master it is, otherwise she will throw him here to feed the mosquitoes, smiley face. Just stay at ease. I told the driver and bodyguards that I can take you home at 10 o'clock. Don't think about driving around. That's it, hang up. Ms. Jiang Manlin turned off the video without reluctance. Du Wei. Mother. Du Wei sat under the tiger statue until 10 o'clock that night. When she returned home, she not only harvested a bag full of legs, but also contracted the wind and cold, and her voice became hoarse. Isn't she really bad? However, this still failed to arouse Ms. Jiang Manlin's sympathy, and Du Wei was thrown under the tiger statue the next day. The master said he had to come for 3 consecutive days. This time Du Wei learned to be smart. She brought mosquito repellent, mosquito coils, and anti-itch lotion with her, as well as a mobile phone charging treasure. If it weren't for food, she could move the supermarket over. Cough cough. Du Wei threw a lozenge that moistened her throat into her mouth, and sent her mobile phone to moments. Ordinary wealthy Du Wei, what is the sight of Lisa Park at 8 o'clock in the evening? I've seen it at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and 10 o'clock in the evening. Smiley face. This news was sent to her mother specifically by Du Wei, and was sent to the group of relatives and friends. Only her family and best friends are in this group. Sun Xiaoxiao was originally in this group, but she was removed by Du Wei the day before yesterday. Mom, girl, persistence is victory. Du Wei. Ms. Jiang Manlin has no sympathy at all. Du Wei pouted her lips, opened the campus forum and wandered around. She hasn't gone to school for 3 days, but her legend still circulates in the school. That day, she and Pan Jing and Zhang Xingze were written up with jealousy and posted on the campus forum. Now they are still on top, followed by the word hot. Du Wei glanced at it in a handy way. There were all kinds of things inside, including all kinds of monsters, ghosts and snakes. In the eyes of all the students in the school, Du Wei is a ridiculous, sad and poor eldest lady, and Pan Jing has become a big winner against the wind. Among the IDs of these message top posts, there is a person named Sweet Hair Tai, who is very active. Sun Xiaoxiao told her that this ID is Pan Jingpi's skin, but now Du Wei has to suspect that this may also be Sun Xiao. Shino himself. Sweet Hair Circle, the 520 prom is coming soon. Zhang Xingze will definitely not dance with Du Wei now. She will have no male partner by then, and the whole school will laugh at it again. Pitiful. Your calories, it is not certain whether she will come or not. Hasn't she been hiding at home these days? Even the school has no face to come. Xiaxiao, there is no stipulation that she must dance with Zhang Xingze, right? No matter how she said she is the daughter of the Du family. It is still easy to find a male partner, right? Sweet Hair Tai, what do you know? The male partner is easy to find, but can you find something better than Zhang Xingze? At that time, Zhang Xingze must be dancing with Pan Jing. She casually finds a male partner, and she is not ashamed of herself. Drink plenty of hot water, it's also shouting, Zhang Xingze is from the Zhang family. Sweet Hair Tai, I think Du Wei deserves it by herself, and she will show off everywhere when she meets Zhang Xingze. Now let's slap her face. Du Wei squeaked his phone in his hand. It's too broken. These people, have you finished your homework? So they went to the forum. And Zhang Xingze wanted to dance with her. It was also arranged by the family. After Sun Xiaoxiao knew about it, she told her that she would use this to give Pan Jing off her horse. She deliberately spread it out, but she showed off. She threw the phone out with a pop, and 2 seconds later, she walked over again and picked it up. Except for some dirt on the shell of the mobile phone, it didn't hurt anything. Du Yue patted the dirt, thinking that I was impulsive just now. This mobile phone is the latest model and very expensive. But this person called Sweet Hair Ring, she still has to find an opportunity to check it out. She was about to sit back next to the tiger statue, and a man walked past the gravel road ahead. The man is tall and looks taller than her brother. He is wearing a straight dark suit. Even if there is only one back, she can judge from the fabrics and cuts that this is a very valuable couture. He seemed to be smoking a cigarette, and a curl of white smoke floated from his fingers, but Du Yue was far away and could not smell the smoke. As if he sensed that someone was looking at him behind him, the man turned his head and looked in Du Yue's direction. When she turned her head in the moonlight, Du Yue was a little dazed for an instant. She has never seen such a good-looking man. He did not leave the eyebrows and bangs that boys like very much now. Instead, he combed his back with a 4 to 6 point back. The combed hair completely exposed the face and facial features, which is a very test. The level of human appearance. But the man managed this hairstyle easily, no matter whether it was the sharp lines of his face or the sharp features, he couldn't fault it. He wore an exquisite three-piece suit, and even his leather shoes were polished brightly, and the breath of President Tyrant felt like a blow to his face. Du Yue stared at him for 2 seconds, and felt that she had been hurt by the Overlord's spirit from the Overlord. She staggered her eyes slightly, smiled and greeted him, "Good evening." When he opened his mouth, it was the male duck's voice after his throat became inflamed, and Du Yue wished to choke herself to death. God, what did she say hello with this voice? The man didn't even move his eyebrows. He looked at Du Yue and took a breath of cigarettes. The sparks that flickered between his fingers lit up star-spotted human fireworks for him. Following him, he squeezed out the cigarette in his hand without saying a word, threw the cigarette into the trash can, and turned away. Du Yue. Cut, pull something, don't you just look good, and your figure is better. Whispering sound. Du Yue held her mobile phone and sat back next to the tiger. After a while, the driver walked over to her and said, "Miss, it's time, you can go home." Du Yue was taken aback for a moment, so fast. She subconsciously glanced at the time on the phone, it was really 10 o'clock. It seems that the night of an affair always flies very fast. When she got into the car with the driver, Zhang Xiaoyan also happened to walk back to his car. When the special assistant Takano saw him coming back, he immediately stood upright and helped him open the car door. "Boss, are you back?" "Yeah." Zhang Xiaoyan got in the car, and Gao Yi closed the door for him again. There was still a faint smell of smoke on Zhang Xiaoyan's body, and the night breeze did not blow away. Gao Yi sat in the passenger seat and asked him carefully, "Boss, are you going directly to the villa?" Zhang Xiaoyan still cherishes words like gold. Gao Yi didn't say anything, winked at the driver, and the car drove towards Zhang Xiaoyan's villa. After getting in the car, Zhang Xiaoyan kept looking out the window, and Gao Yi didn't dare to talk casually. Although the boss usually has such an iceberg face, no one dared to make a mistake in front of him, but in these few days, he is more annoying than usual. Because it will be Lin Hui's death in a few days. Gao Yi could see that he was in a bad mood. Tonight they went to a business banquet. On the way back, he suddenly said that he wanted to get off the car and smoke a cigarette, so they stopped at Lisa Park. Zhang Xiaoyan seldom smokes, and he has smoked more frequently in the past 2 days. It is also because of the approach of Lin Hui's death. Zhang Xiaoyan's villa is on a mountain in the western suburbs, and the entire hill is Zhang Xiaoyan's. The car drove through the gate, through the garden, and stopped in the garage. Zhang Xiaoyan unfastened his seatbelt and told Gao Yi in front of him, "I will be picked up at the same time tomorrow morning." Takano hesitated for a moment, and tentatively said, "Boss, you have not had a good sleep these 2 days." "I'm fine, do as I ordered." "Yes." Takano nodded in response, watching him leave. Zhang Xiaoyan went straight back to his room, took a shower and changed into pajamas, then fell on his bed. It was getting late. He took advantage of his sleepiness, turned off the light and closed his eyes. He slept very quickly, but he was not stable, and had been having nightmares in the first half of the night. After waking up from the dream, what swept through was his familiar headache, as if his brain was about to explode. He pressed his temple tightly and took a few breaths. On the bedside was the medicine prescribed for him by the doctor. He swept the medicine bottle over, because he twisted it so hard that most of the pills in it were spilled on the bed. Zhang Xiaoyan didn't care. He grabbed 2 red and white pills without water and directly fed them into his mouth and swallowed them. In the dark room, Zhang Xiaoyan gasped heavily. After taking the medicine, his headache didn't alleviate much. He moved the earphones from the pillow with a little difficulty, plugged them into the phone, and clicked on a song saved in the phone. The song has no name and no information about the singer, but when the female voice reached his ears, Zhang Xiaoyan seemed to have grasped the straw. The duration of the song was 4 minutes and 49 seconds. After the song was played, Zhang Xiaoyan gradually calmed down, and his breathing was not as heavy as before. He closed his eyes and leaned against the head of the bed, already in a cold sweat. In the headphones, the girl's song is still repeating, tirelessly over and over again. This is the only song on Zhang Xiaoyan's phone. He doesn't know who sang it, even though he had looked for this person madly. Everyone said that Zhang Xiaoyan was the head of the Zhang family, and he was determined to be omnipotent, but he couldn't find the girl who sang. Thinking of this, Zhang Xiaoyan curled his lips indifferently. This girl has a clean voice, but the songs she sang were recorded with a mobile phone, and there is no basic post-production, let alone a natural sound. But this is such a song that is unremarkable in the eyes of others, and it is Zhang Xiaoyan's only redemption in the endless long night. Unworthy Rich Girl Chapter 3. Du Yue fed mosquitoes for 2 days in Lisa Park, and said nothing on the 3rd day. When Jiang Manlin saw that she was in bed early in the morning and said she didn't want to get up, she brought some fruits up to see her. Cough cough cough. As soon as she walked in, Jiang Manlin heard Du Yue coughing continuously. Girlfriend, are you so sick? Have you taken medicine? Du Yue pulled the quilt and nodded weakly. Take it. Mom, listen to my voice, it's worse than yesterday. Jiang Manlin listened, and then frowned. You still don't talk, it's too bad to hear. Du Yue. Smiley face. Come on, eat some fruit to moisturize your throat. Jiang Manlin forks a slice of cut Sydney and feeds it to Du Yue. If you really don't want to go to Lisa Park, let's not go. Anyway, that tiger is not real, I guess. The effect is also limited. Du Yue held the ice-sweet Sydney in her mouth, nodding her head desperately. Her mother finally found out her conscience. Jiang Manlin said, I asked someone to buy 2 tickets to the zoo. Tomorrow my mother will go to the safari park with you to see the Real tiger. Du Yue, huh? Jiang Manlin, I just don't know if the zoo is willing to let you and the tiger stay alone for a while. Du Yue, huh? Is this what my mother said? Even if the tiger was willing, she wouldn't. Mom, even if I don't want to go to Lisa Park, you don't need to send me to feed the tiger. Jiang Manlin smiled and touched her head, then gave her a piece of Sydney. I talked to the fortune-telling master in the morning, and he said that since you are sick, you don't need to go to Lisa Park. He counted an hour and let us go to him tomorrow to ask for peace and blessing, and there is a tiger ornament for you to put on the bedside. Okay. As long as you don't go to Lisa Park to feed wild mosquitoes, everything is easy to say. And she also wanted to see which stick was pitting her, smiley face. After Jiang Manlin left, Du Yue's illness was mostly cured, and she played with her mobile phone vigorously. Wei Rui left a comment under the moments she posted last night. What's wrong with you? Du Yue's fingers stopped at this comment. Wei Rui is a good girlfriend who grew up with her. Before Sun Xiaoxiao appeared, the relationship between the two of them had been very good. Du Yue is Sun Xiaoxiao who only met after going to university. Wei Rui mentioned to her several times that she felt that Sun Xiaoxiao was not easy, and asked her not to interact with Sun Xiaoxiao. She didn't listen. Later, she and Sun Xiaoxiao got closer, and they were alienated from Wei Rui, but when Du's family was in trouble, no one dared to help them. Only Wei Rui risked offending Zhang's family and secretly stuffed her. Money. Du Yue clicked on Wei Rui's WeChat profile picture, opened a private chat, and sent her 3 messages in a row. Yue, Rui, I'm really too miserable. Yue, Rui, you are my lifelong friend. Yue, are you free this afternoon? Let's go, I invite you to do a big health care. Wei Rui. She heard about what happened to Du Yue at school, but she didn't expect that she would be so stimulated. Du Yue's big healthcare is of course not something discordant, but a genuine full-body SPA. Lie on a special massage table, carefully apply essential oils all over the body, and then be massaged by the beautiful young lady. Du Yue feels that her coldness has been pressed away. Ah, it's so comfortable. Du Yue was drowsy listening to the soothing music in the room. Wei Rui was lying next to her, also very relaxed. You said your mother will find someone to tell you fortune-telling, does it work? Du Yue said, it's still useful. I saw a handsome guy in Lisa Park yesterday. Puff. Wei Rui laughed abruptly. Du Yue, can you be a little prosperous? Du Yue said indifferently, if you see him, you don't want anything to be successful. Is that so handsome? Well, it's too cold, but he wears high-quality clothes all over his body, and he should be not small. Wei Rui's eyebrows moved, as if thinking about something. No, you should know the rich people in City A. I'm also thinking about this issue, maybe he is from a different place. Wei Ruidao, but it's also possible that he is too high in status and won't attend the social activities we usually participate in, so you don't know him. These words made Du Yue a little more energetic. Is there still such a person in City A? Yes, for example. Wei Rui was about to say Zhang Xiaoyan from the Zhang family, but he swallowed it when he reached the lips. Du Yue had just been stimulated by Zhang Shengzi, so she still shouldn't mention the Zhang family in front of her. For example, who? Du Yue asked curiously when she saw that she hadn't spoken for a long time. No one, I don't know you even after I said it. Wei Rui crossed the topic, speaking of the masseurs here, the craftsmanship is really good. Yes, I want to invite one to go home. Du Yue said here, she really asked the young lady who was massaging herself, how much do you pay a month? The masseuse laughed and said to her, Ms. Du definitely doesn't care about our salary. Du Yue said, hey, you can't say that, you also rely on craftsmanship to eat. It's good. Wei Rui turned his head to look at her in surprise. My dear, Miss Du actually said such grounded words. Du Yue squinted her eyes and said to Wei Rui in a decent way, Rui, we were born in a wealthy family since we were young. Money is too easy to come, so we don't take money seriously. This won't work. You must be in awe of money. Otherwise, one day, money will leave you. I can take the liberty to ask, what is it that makes you so insightful? Du Yue said, have you ever been to the vegetable market? Of course I have never been, your family usually cooks, do you want you to go shopping yourself? Du Yue's question made Wei Rui amused. She and Du Yue were both people who had never done any housework since they were young. Du Yue sighed and said to Wei Rui, people who haven't been to the vegetable market are not enough to talk about life with me. Wei Rui. She felt that Aunt Jiang should not take Du Yue to the fortune-telling, but should take her to the doctor. Psychiatric kind. After a full-body SPA, Du Yue was relaxed, not even speaking so dumb. After taking the medicine in the evening, I slept beautifully, and was woken up by her mother at 10 a.m. the next morning, saying that the auspicious time was about to arrive with the master. The fortune-telling master was different from Du Yue's thinking. He did not live in the deep mountains and old forests, but opened a studio in an office building in the city center. What a master who keeps pace with the times. She and Ms. Jiang Manlin took the elevator to the 23rd floor. As soon as she stepped out of the elevator door, she saw 6 characters, Zhang Zai Xin Studio, hung on the opposite wall. This Master Chang Zixin is the grandson of Master Chang Xin and his only descendant. Jiang Manlin introduced to Master Chang Zixin when she led Du Yue to her office. Du Yue replied irresponsibly, she had never heard of it anyway, whether it was Changxin or Changxin. Here. Walking to the door of Master Chang Zixin's office, Jiang Manlin stopped and knocked on the door. "Master Chang, I brought my daughter here. Please come in." Du Yue was surprised again when the magnetic voice came out. "Isn't the master all middle-aged? How does the master's voice sound like a handsome guy in his 20s? Go in, the master may want to chat with you later, don't talk nonsense." Du Yue opened her mouth and smiled after hearing her say this. "Coincidentally, I just want to chat with him." Jiang Manlin opened the door, and Du Yue walked in behind her. The door was facing the desk of Changshin. There was a peach computer on the desk, and the display screen just blocked the master's face. On the wall behind the desk, there is a calligraphy of dragon and phoenix dancing, and it is framed with fine wood. This calligraphy is so eye-catching, Du Yue couldn't help but looked at it. Cherish this fate. Du Yue. While the master is advancing with the times, he is very retro. Sit here. When he saw him coming out after the meeting, he followed him and reported to him, "Boss, Lin Qian has returned to China." "Yeah." Zhang Xiaoyan walked toward his office without stopping. "Is the person settled?" "Settled, secretary who is with her over there. Let her take the jet lag today. You will live in the world in a private room tomorrow night, and then take her to dinner." Gao Yi reminded, "Boss, you are going to attend the charity auction at 7 tomorrow evening. We will go after dinner." "Good boss, then I'll make arrangements." "Yeah." Zhang Xiaoyan walked into the office, and Gao Yi helped him close the door behind him. In order to catch up with the auction, Gao Yi set the meal time at 5:30. Zhang Xiaoyan will have only one meeting tomorrow afternoon, and he should be able to leave the company early. He communicated well with Secretary Hu and asked her to send Lin Qian to Tianxiaju in advance tomorrow and wait there. Secretary Hu had a headache after hearing what he said. "Gao, special help, Lin Qian is really too difficult to do, or let's change, I will go back to serve the boss, and you will serve this little ancestor." Gao Yi coughed and said to Secretary Hu on the other end of the phone, "The organization trusts you, so it delegates this arduous task to you." Secretary Hu curled her lips, cut her mouth, and said it nicely. It wasn't that she didn't want to come, so she pushed her over. "Anyway, she has been clamoring to see the boss. Now immediately, you can tell what to do." Gao Yi said, "Secretary Hu, what else do you say?" "The boss said tomorrow night, it can only be tomorrow night." Secretary Hu. "Ah, life is really hard." Finally, until the next afternoon, Secretary Hu sent Lin Qian, the young ancestor, to Tianxiaju early. When Zhang Xiaoyan and Gao Yi arrived, Lin Qian had been sitting in the private room and waiting for a while. Lin Qian is Lin Hui's younger sister. She is only 19 years old this year and has been studying abroad for a long time. This time I came back mainly to participate in Lin Hui's death day. Hearing the sound of opening the door, Lin Qian, who was sitting in her seat and playing with her mobile phone, stood up abruptly and rushed to Zhang Xiaoyan. "Brother Xiaoyan, you are finally here." Gao Yi quickly stretched out his arm and guarded Zhang Xiaoyan's body, blocking Lin Qian's pounce. Lin Qian cupped her lips, looked up at Gao Yi with dissatisfaction, then turned her head and smiled at Zhang Xiaoyan. "Brother Xiaoyan, I wanted to find you when I returned to China yesterday, but Secretary Hu said that Special Assistant Gao did not agree. Takano. After 2 years in a foreign country, I really improved my skills. After this meeting, I started to complain. Secretary Hu is also good, pushing all the pots on him." Zhang Xiaoyan didn't mean to accuse Gao Tezu. "I am really busy these 2 days, and you have just returned to China, thinking about letting you fall into the jet lag." As he said, he walked towards the dining table, and the waiter helped him pull the chair away and asked him to sit down. Gao Yi followed him and told the waiter to pass the food. Zhang Xiaoyan looked at Lin Qian standing beside him and said to her, "You have changed a lot in the past 2 years." When he first saw Lin Qian, she was still a dry girl with short black hair and her childishness. Now her short hair has become long golden hair, and she is much more glamorous than before. As the saying goes, the 18th woman has changed. Am I more prettier than before? Lin Qian sat on the chair beside Zhang Xiaoyan and asked him with her face in her arms. Zhang Xiaoyan laughed and didn't speak. Gao Yi thought in his heart, "Isn't it? You can put on makeup now." Lin Qian moved her chair in Zhang Xiaoyan's direction again and looked at him and said, "Brother Xiaoyan, after taking part in my brother's anniversary this time, I don't want to go back abroad. Would you let me stay in China?" Zhang Xiaoyan frowned lightly and asked her, "Why?" Lin Qian said pitifully, "It's so pitiful for me to be abroad alone. I don't have any relatives or friends. I want to stay in China, so it's easier to see my parents." Zhang Xiaoyan didn't answer right away. He sent Lin Qian abroad because he wanted her to receive the best education, and by the way, to have a long experience outside. Seeing him not speaking, Lin Qian's tone was even more pitiful than before. "Stay in the country, I think I can visit him at any time when I stay in the country." She mentioned Lin Hui, and Zhang Xiaoyan's attitude really loosened. "Since you want to stay in the country, I respect your wishes. Gaoye, you can do this." "Okay, boss." Lin Qian's eyes lit up when she heard that she could stay in the country. "Brother Xiaoyan, you are so good." She looked at Zhang Xiaoyan, showing a bit of shyness of a young girl. "Brother Xiaoyan, we can take a photo?" The last time she took a photo with Zhang Xiaoyan was the day she went abroad. Zhang Xiaoyan nodded whether or not. Lin Qian happily picked up her mobile phone and found that the battery was only 1% left by herself. "My phone is out of power, can I use Brother Xiaoyan's phone to take pictures?" She turned to ask Zhang Xiaoyan. Zhang Xiaoyan slid his mobile phone away and handed it to Lin Qian. "You take a picture." Lin Qian took the phone happily, and then couldn't laugh. Zhang Xiaoyan's mobile phone page is still on the audio playback, and the song Without a Name is set as a single loop. Obviously Zhang Xiaoyan was still listening to this song before coming. She didn't know what was special about this song, but I heard that Zhang Xiaoyan had been looking for a singing woman for a long time. The jealousy spread in this way, and Lin Qian's body was faster than her brain, and she deleted the song at a touch of her fingertips. "What are you doing?" Zhang Xiaoyan frowned slightly and took back his mobile phone. After discovering that the above song had been deleted, his expression instantly changed. Lin Qian was a little flustered. Before she could explain her words, Zhang Xiaoyan looked at her furiously. "Who gave you the courage to delete my things?" Zhang Xiaoyan became angry, and even the Zhang family trembled 3 times, let alone Lin Qian, a little girl. She was so scared that her face paled, and her words trembled. I accidentally deleted it." Lin Qian is not stupid, she knows that everyone is afraid of Zhang Xiaoyan, but he is the only one who is different to herself. After her brother died, Zhang Xiaoyan treated her very well. Her school expenses and living expenses were all from Zhang Xiaoyan's money, and he also tolerated all of her petty temperaments. Today she just deleted one of his songs, so he made such a big fire to himself. Zhang Xiaoyan's face was still green. He stood up and told Gao Yi, after attending Lin Hui's death, he will send Lin Qian back to school, and he is not allowed to come back before graduation. "Yes, boss." Takano walked quickly out of the private room behind him, and closed the private room door. Listening to the sound of the door closing, Lin Qian suddenly stunned and slumped on the chair. In Zhang Xiaoyan's Bentley, the atmosphere is solemn. Gao Yi leaned on his side and spoke to Zhang Xiaoyan cautiously. "Boss, this data should be recoverable. I have contacted colleagues in the company's technical department and asked them to help solve it." Zhang Xiaoyan pressed her thin lips tightly, and it took a long time to spit out 4 words in a low voice. "Go back to the company first." "Yes." Takano replied, without speaking any more. In the private room today, for a moment he really worried that Lin Qian would be strangled to death by the boss on the spot. Zhang Xiaoyan's illness is an extremely confidential matter, not to mention that Lin Qian doesn't know, even the old man of the Zhang family doesn't know. Takano was the only one who knew. In order to treat Zhang Xiaoyan's headache, they have sought authoritative brain experts and well-known psychologists. In short, they tried all the methods they could try, and in the end only one song that they didn't know who sang worked. Takano has also heard this song. It sounds nothing special, but it just calms the boss down and relieves his pain. After arriving at the company, Zhang Xiaoyan personally handed the mobile phone to the elite of the technical department, and stared at him on the spot to restore the data. The pressure of the elite is very high. He was eating dinner and humming happily. Why did things suddenly become like this? The hair in their line is sparse, and if you are stared at by the big boss, it is estimated that you can only see people when you go home. Worry. Under Zhang Xiaoyan's coercion, the elites of the technical department were more elite than ever, and quickly retrieved the song, "Old boss, the data has been restored, but it's damaged." Zhang Xiaoyan frowned. "What do you mean?" "It means, even though you got it back, you can't listen to it, but..." Feeling the boss's pressure is lower, the elite shouted with strong desire to survive, "I want to find a way to fix it." Zhang Xiaoyan asked, "Can it be repaired?" The elite promised, "I will use what I have learned all my life, and I will definitely repair it to the boss." "It's possible, it will take some time." "Yeah." Zhang Xiaoyan nodded slightly, and said to Gao Yi next to him, "In the future, the technical department will not stammer." "Yes." Elite. After leaving the technical department, Gao Tezu was still worrying about the next itinerary. "Boss, are you still going to the charity auction?" Zhang Xiaoyan was silent for a while, and said, "Go." Unworthy Rich Girl Chapter 5. The Smiling Angel Charity Auction is held twice a year. This auction has a relatively high lineup. Basically, only the upper class in City A can receive invitations. Over time, being able to participate in this auction has also become a status symbol of the upper class. Of course, the fundamental thing in the auction is to do good deeds. Not many people from the society participate in the auction each time, but a lot of money is raised. After Du Youwei's research, she commented to Ms. Jiang Manlin, "Isn't this just the rich man's wool?" Jiang Manlin. Where did you get so many words to do good deeds? Are the items ready for auction? Ready, I have already sent the information to the person in charge, and the things have been installed. Okay, I will prepare the clothes for you, and the driver and bodyguard will come with you later. Take the card your dad gave you, and just watch the samples come back. I see. Du Youwei invited Ms. Jiang Manlin out of her room and lay back on the sofa. Well, ask Wei Rui if he wants to go with him. She picked up her mobile phone and sent a message to Wei Rui in a Rui Smiling Angel auction tonight, do you want to go? Wei Rui, no, my dad sent an assistant. I just got double eyelids and don't want to go out now. You Wei, what? Not seen in 2 days, you even cut your eyelids. Wei Rui, I have made an appointment long ago, but do you know what is offensive? When I went to see the doctor asked me, do you want to pad your nose, smiley face? You Wei, ha 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 ha. Wei Rui, what do you mean by him, smiley face? You Wei, I said he didn't want to do it anymore, bang. Wei Rui, fortunately, his craftsmanship is not bad, and the effect of his eyes is quite good, but he is still a little swollen. I'll make an appointment with you when my swelling subsides. You Wei, okay, I'm going to prepare for the evening auction, see you later. She put down the phone, got up and went to the cloakroom to try the dress her mother had prepared for her. The skirt was picked by Jiang Manlin. The red V-neck blouse was connected with a long black gauze skirt, with a small white waistcoat on the outside. After changing, Du Youwei took a picture in the mirror and turned on the small walkie-talkie to contact the housekeeper. Housekeeper Wu, let the stylist come up and do my hair. A quick reply came from the intercom, okay, miss. There were 2 stylists styling Du Youwei, and they all came up quickly. One made Du Youwei's hair and the other made Du Youwei's makeup. After that, she helped her pick out the matching shoes and bags. Ji Ningjun squatted aside, watching them busy, and occasionally yelled twice to express their opinions. Du Youwei's outfit was done, and she went out with her bodyguards. At the door, she asked Jiang Manlin, Mom, I haven't eaten dinner yet, is there anything to eat over there? Look at your promise. Don't worry, snacks and fruits will be prepared on the spot. You won't be hungry. Jiang Manlin said, and stuffed Du Youwei into the car. The car drove all the way to the auction site. When Du Youwei arrived, there were already many famous cars parked in the parking lot. Immediately after getting off the bus, a staff member came to receive her and asked her to show her invitation letter. Du Youwei took out the invitation Han from the bag and handed it to him with a smile. The staff turned a glance, and smiled at her, Welcome, Miss Du, please come with me. Du Youwei followed him and walked into the venue. To be honest, she is still a little nervous. Although she has participated in a lot of high society gatherings, it is the first time that the auction has come. If someone bids with her when she is holding the sign for a while, should she soar the price with him? If she didn't photograph anything, would she be beaten by her mother? Forget it, I don't want to. The staff led her to seat 19, and the sign in her hand also read 19. After taking her seat, Wei looked around curiously. There are 2 floors, all seats are concentrated on the first floor, and the auction is also on the first floor. But it was very strange. There seemed to be a private room on the second floor. The curtains were drawn and it was impossible to see what was inside. On the balcony, there was a staff member standing at an auction, holding a sign in his hand, but nothing was written on the sign. What is this? Such a mystery makes people care about it. Little girl, is this the first time? Seeing Wei looking at the private room on the second floor, a middle-aged man sitting next to Wei spoke to her. Wei turned her head and glanced at him. The uncle looked familiar, but she couldn't remember who it was. She nodded at him, smiled and asked him, "Do you come often?" "It doesn't count, come at least once a year." "Oh, do you know what the private room on the second floor does?" The middle-aged man made a hush gesture to her. "Little girl, don't inquire." Wei. Then why talk to her? Now she cares more. Fortunately, the auction officially started at 7 o'clock, and Wei didn't have the time to care about other things. The order of the auction items on stage is arranged according to the number of the signs in everyone's hands. Wei looked at the 10 auction collections and felt, the taste of the rich in City A is really vulgar. But the vulgar is vulgar, and I always come here to do good deeds, so no matter how vulgar lots are, people will buy them. Because everyone brings the lots themselves, when it's their turn, the host will ask the owner of the lot to give a brief introduction on stage. Wei was the 19th, and when friend 18 was explaining on stage, she had already cleared her throat. Fortunately, her voice has been cured today, otherwise she would not speak on the stage even if she died with the male duck voice. Next is the 19th lot, provided by the daughter of the Du family, Miss Du Yue Emotion's limited signature edition luxury collection album. Wei obviously heard a small gasp from a few people at the scene. It seems that there are still people who know the goods like her. She stepped onto the stage, took the microphone handed over by the host and started her speech with a smile to the audience. "Hello everyone, today I am bringing you the deluxe edition album of Mo Tianwang, or the autographed edition. As an artist, Mo Tianwang has made outstanding contributions to the world of music and film. I must know everyone. It took a lot of thought before I received this album. If it weren't for good deeds, I would not show it. Today, I reluctantly gave up my love. The starting price is 1 million, thank you everyone." As soon as she had quoted the price, the lady on the 11th raised a sign, 1.5 million. There was a low noise from the scene, just like Wei could not appreciate other people's collections, and some people could not appreciate her. But it doesn't matter, the lady holding the placard must be a fan of Mo Tianwang, and being photographed by her fellow fans is a good home. Then several other people raised their placards, and the price went up by 100,000. When it reached 2 million, the staff outside the private room on the second floor suddenly raised a sign, 10 million. The hearts of the rich people at the scene, what? Unexpectedly, the one upstairs is also a fan of Mo Tianwang. It seems that they will listen to Mo Tianwang's songs more in the future. Wei noticed that the person in charge of raising the placard upstairs was wearing a headset. Every time before raising the placard, she would subconsciously touch the headset. It should be the person inside who gave her orders through the headset. The deity in the private room hasn't shown his face until now, but he has already photographed several collections, adding up to over 10 million. And Wei also found that once the person upstairs raised the placard, there would be no more fare increase below. Who is sitting upstairs? The background is so big. It was the same this time. The person in the private room opened a price of 10 million yuan, and no one asked for it. The host made a final decision and announced with joy, thanks to the VIPs in the private room for the donation of 10 million. Thank you also to the lot provider, Ms. Du Yue. No thanks, no thanks. Du Yue walked off the stage with a slightly stiff smile. As soon as she walked back to her seat and sat down, a beautiful staff member in uniform walked towards her, bent over and whispered in her ear, "Miss Du, the guest in the private room, please." Huh? Du Yue was full of question marks. Who is the guest in the private room? Do I know it? The staff smiled at her. You will know when you go. Du Yue considered it for a while and asked her, can I bring the bodyguard? She didn't know who was in the private room. How unsafe for a beautiful girl like her to go up alone. The staff turned their backs and held the headset to say something, then turned around and said to Du Yue, yes, but the bodyguards can only wait outside. Okay. Du Yue made a call, called all the bodyguards, and went to the second floor with her. After arriving on the second floor, she was not taken to the private room immediately, but was invited to the lounge. Miss Du, please wait here for a while. Du Yue nodded and sat down when seeing the sofa and food and drink in the lounge. She waited in the lounge for just a few minutes, and the guests in the private room had already investigated all of her family. Du Yue is the daughter of Du Jingting and Jiang Manlin, and she also has an older brother, Du Yicheng. Du Jingting started from scratch and founded Du's enterprise, and managed it on a large scale. Du Yicheng graduated from a prestigious school and now helps Du Jingting manage the company together. Jiang Manlin was born in Shuxiangmen first. I have also received a good education. I didn't work again after marriage, but I took care of the Du's house in an orderly manner and often participated in charity activities. Du Yue. When Gao Yi talked about Du Yue, he paused, as if he didn't know how to describe her. Du Yue is studying at a private university in City A. She is currently in her junior year and has poor grades. She is still spoiled and self-willed. A few days ago, I heard that she was in the classmates were beaten in the school. Zhang Xiaoyan pursed his thin lips and said nothing, and Gao Ye's heart also followed the drum. The boss has been looking for this singer for so long, and finally found today, but it is Du Yue, the most unpromising daughter of the Du family. To be honest, even his mood is a bit complicated, let alone the boss. Who did she hit at school? Zhang Xiaoyan's slightly low voice sounded in the private room. Gao Yi said, Pan Jing, Zhang Shengze's current girlfriend. Zhang Shengze and Du Yue had decided to be a baby. Du Yue might have friction with Pan Jing for this reason, but after she slapped Pan Jing that day, Zhang Shengze also hit her hand. The expression on Zhang Xiaoyan's face finally changed. Zhang Shengze hit her. Yes, in front of many students in the school. Du Yue hasn't been to school in the past few days. After another silence, Zhang Xiaoyan finally said, bring her in. Unworthy Rich Girl Chapter 6. Du Yue is eating small cakes in the lounge. This auction is really big, and any small cake is produced by you, exquisite and delicious. The beautiful sister who brought her up just now knocked on the door of the room and respectfully said to her, Miss Du, the guest in the private room, please go in. Oh. Du Yue put down the little cake that hadn't finished eating, picked up the tissue next to her and wiped her hands, and followed her over. There were 3 handsome men in black suits standing outside the private room. They should be the bodyguards of the big guy inside. The man who led Du Yue to the door stopped and said to the inside, 7 masters, Miss Du is here. Chia. Du Yue is a little confused. Why hasn't she heard of such a person? However, the name, Chia, sounds like Ji is not too young last year, and it may not overlap with her social circle. As she was thinking, the door of the private room was opened. The one who came to open the door was a young man in his 20s, also wearing a black suit, and he was more handsome than the 3 bodyguards at the door. Du Yue raised her eyes to look at him, and tilted her head. 7th Lord. This is the special assistant of 7th Master, Takano, said the staff member who led Du Yue. Oh, Koyasan, Japanese? Du Yue asked with a smile. The corners of Gao Ye's mouth were slightly stiff, and then he also pulled an arc. The last name is Gao, the first name is Yi, a purebred Chinese. Oh, hello, fortunate to have a good time. Du Yue smiled and shook his hand. Takano also smiled and agreed, the boss is waiting for you inside, come in. He turned his body sideways to make way for Du Yue. Du Yue walked in with a smile, and then the smile solidified on his face. Damn it, isn't this the cold beauty she met in Lisa Park that day? Life is really full of surprises. You were in Lisa Park that day. Du Yue looked at Zhang Xiaoyan. It was already very dark in the park that day. Looking at him in the brightly lit private room today is more handsome than that day. When she said this, Zhang Xiaoyan also thought of her, and Gao Yi stood by, looking at them confusedly. Boss, have you met before? That's right. Zhang Xiaoyan didn't explain too much. He looked at Du Yue, and said after a while, I took the liberty to ask Miss Du over today because I wanted to ask Miss Du to do me a favor. Du Yue must help the beauty of her favor. What's the favor, you say? As long as I can do it, I will definitely help. Zhang Xiaoyan said, I would like to ask Miss Du to help me record a song. Huh? Du Yue was stunned. It turned out that this seventh master is in the entertainment industry. Well, although I also know that my conditions are pretty good, I don't have the intention to develop into the entertainment industry. Takano. Does Miss Du have any misunderstandings about herself? He had also heard the song she sang, and it was overwhelmed within minutes of putting it in the entertainment industry, and only the boss was a treasure. Zhang Xiaoyan said, Miss Du misunderstood, I don't think you can develop into the entertainment industry. Then are you? Gao Yi said, Miss Du, we just want to ask you to record a song. There is no other meaning, and the song will not be spread. If you like, we will make an appointment. If you don't want it, we will not embarrass you. Du Yue thought for a while, and smiled at Zhang Xiaoyan, it's okay to record the song, but in exchange, I also hope you can do me a favor. Gao Yi looked at her vigilantly, what did Miss Du want to deal with? Zhang Xiaoyan thought for a while, and said to her, you have to talk about it first. Du Yue said, tomorrow is May 20th. Our school has organized a 520 dance party. I would like to invite you to be my dance partner. Gao Yi laughed at her self-reliance, and even wanted to ask the boss to be her dancing partner, and he didn't. Can Takano? The boss actually agreed. Gao Yi looked at Zhang Xiaoyan in disbelief. There was no superfluous expression on Zhang Xiaoyan's face. He just asked faintly, what is 520? Du Yue looked at him in shock, you don't even know. It's the homophony of I love you. Takano. This lady, please pay attention to your attitude when talking to our president. As an overbearing president with no emotions, he doesn't know what happened to 520. Zhang Xiaoyan pondered for a moment, and made the following comment, boring. Du Yue. Will you go again? She asked. Zhang Xiaoyan said, what I promised, I won't regret it. That's good, that's good. Du Yue is relieved, Du Yue, can finally return to school. Although the background of the Qi may not be able to fight the Zhang family, he is handsome. Zhang Xingze can be killed in seconds by just relying on his face value. Takano, you leave a call from Miss Du. Yes. According to Zhang Xiaoyan's instructions, Gao Yi saved Du Yue's phone number, and then helped her open the private room door. Miss Du, you can leave. Oh. She walked towards the door, her head still looking in Zhang Xiaoyan's direction. I don't know what this gentleman is called. Gao Yi said, you can call the boss Jia. Du Yue raised her eyes to look at him and curled her lips. Takano. What's the point of poking at him, poking at the boss? After she left, Gao Yi lowered his head and asked Zhang Xiaoyan, who was sitting on the sofa, boss, do you really want to dance with her? Yeah. Zhang Xiaoyan stood up and said to him, it's almost the same tonight, let's stop here. Yes, I will let the driver prepare the car now. Seeing that Zhang Xiaoyan didn't want to talk about it anymore, Gao Yi wisely didn't ask any more questions. Only when he got in the car, he remembered one more thing, and reported to Zhang Xiaoyan, boss, I also inquired that Jiang Manlin thought Du Yue had bad luck recently, so he took her to Master Chang's fortune-telling. When he said the 3 words, Master Chang, he specifically slowed down. Because Zhang Xiaoyan's headache doctors couldn't heal them, they even looked for a magic stick, it was this Master Chang. Zhang Xiaoyan asked, what does Chang Zixin say? Gao Yi said to let her stay closer to the tiger. They only invited the tiger back from Master Chang yesterday. Zhang Xiaoyan's eyes moved lightly, and his lips were almost invisible. that's it. No wonder she ran to Lisa Park at night. It turned out to be a date with a tiger. After Zhang Xiaoyan left, Du Wei took a picture of a Chinese painting that her father might like, and completed the task that Ms. Jiang Manlin gave today, and returned home with joy. Soaking in the bathtub and putting on a mask, Du Wei turned on the phone and saw 2 messages that Sun Xiaoxiao had sent her 10 minutes ago. Sun Xiaoxiao, Yu Wei, tomorrow is the 520 prom, are you still coming? Sun Xiaoxiao, Zhang Xingze has already decided to dance with Pan Jing. The more you hide like this, the more arrogant they are. Du Wei snorted, touched the mask on her face, and replied to Sun Xiaoxiao, I will go there on time. Sun Xiaoxiao's reply came immediately, great. I knew you wouldn't just let it go. Have you found a partner? Du Wei, yes. Sun Xiaoxiao, who is it? Du Wei, you'll know when you go to the prom tomorrow. Sun Xiaoxiao thought to herself, Du Wei knew so many people, and there was no one better than Zhang Xingze. Tomorrow she will come, she must be embarrassed again, but it doesn't matter, as long as she comes, she will be able to block Pan Jing and Zhang Xingze. Sun Xiaoxiao, okay, then I will wait for you tomorrow. Be careful. Du Wei's finger flicked on the screen, as if trying to flick her, careful, away. She didn't reply to Sun Xiaoxiao again, and put on the mask with peace of mind. Hey, before taking a bath, she would play Mo Tianwang's song to listen to, but now the song disc is in the hands of the 7th master, I don't know if he will treat it properly. Zhang Xiaoyan is listening to Mo Zhen's song at the moment. The song Du Wei sang is Unreachable, one of Mo Zhen's classic songs. The original song sounds better than Du Wei's. Knowing that this song could cure his headache, Zhang Xiaoyan went to the original singer, but the original singer was useless for his illness. There are many cover versions of this song, but the only one useful to Zhang Xiaoyan is the one downloaded from his mobile phone. It was also a coincidence that he downloaded this song. 2 years ago, a veteran of the board of directors said that his son and a few friends were engaged in undergraduate entrepreneurship and jointly developed a software. He wanted to ask him to help. This director is an old man and he loves his sons so much. He personally found Zhang Xiaoyan, and Zhang Xiaoyan agreed to help him take a look. The software was downloaded by Gao Yi. It is a university social software that can transfer songs and short videos, and send real-time updates. The same type of software is already available on the market, and it is very mature. Apart from the campus factor, this software has no other bright spots, and it is impossible to surpass the original software. Zhang Xiaoyan was not optimistic about this project, and directly told the directors that he asked his son to start a business in another industry. As for Du Wei's song, it is the latest song he released when he tested the software performance. When he found out that this song could cure his illness, he went to look for this software. The software development team had already followed his advice and went to the Huahua game industry. The social software for college students just disappeared, and even the data was emptied. Zhang Xiaoyan leaned against the bed, feeling a little sleepy in a daze, half dreaming and half waking. He dreamed of Lin Hui again, and suddenly woke up. The songs on the karaoke disc are still playing, and the time hasn't been long, but Zhang Xiaoyan's headache has been the same as before. Sweat oozes from his head. He touched his cell phone and dialed a newly saved number. Du Wei had just finished taking a bath and was about to blow her hair, but the mobile phone placed in the corner of the sink vibrated like a stroke. She quickly took the phone, and it showed an incoming call from an unknown number. Du Wei frowned, and before she was about to hang up, she picked it up in a ghostly manner. Hello, who? There was a heavy gasp from the man on the other end of the phone, and Du Wei almost threw the phone out in fright. Fortunately, before she did so, the man on the other end of the phone said, Du Wei. His voice sounded very depressing, as if he was enduring some inhuman torture, and Du Wei was shocked. But she recognized this voice, it was the cold and beautiful man she had only seen today. Boss, what's the matter with you? Zhang Xiaoyan took a few more breaths before he had the strength to speak again. Sing. Unworthy Rich Girl Chapter 7. Du Wei has never encountered such an inexplicable thing before. A man who has only seen her twice called in the evening and asked her to sing. The problem is that she still dare not hang up. No, boss, your voice sounds bad, how about calling an ambulance for you first? I'm fine, sing. Zhang Xiaoyan repeated it again in a strong tone. Du Yue confessed immediately and opened her mouth to sing. She sang not Imogen's song, but Li Shen's famous song Lily. Her singing level is almost the same as that of Zhang Xiaoyan's mobile phone. In the past 2 years, she hasn't made any progress. Even delusional to enter the entertainment circle. Zhang Xiaoyan hadn't noticed it himself and vomited in his heart, but he calmed down amidst her singing and slowly slowed his breathing. It doesn't seem to matter what kind of singing is and how, as long as she sings it. After singing a song, Zhang Xiaoyan's headache has been relieved a lot. Du Yue noticed that his breathing was a lot softer, so she asked carefully, "Big brother, are you better?" Zhang Xiaoyan was silent for a while before he let out an, Du Yue breathed a sigh of relief, and asked him, "What's the matter with you? Is something uncomfortable?" Zhang Xiaoyan did not answer her question, but said with a slight warning, "You are not allowed to tell anyone what happened just now." Du Yue immediately said, "I promise not to tell anyone, not even my dog." Zhang Xiaoyan was silent for a while before speaking, "That's it." Wait. Du Yue stopped Zhang Xiaoyan, who was about to hang up. "Big brother, you are not feeling well, can you come to the prom tomorrow?" I said, "I won't go back about what I promised." Zhang Xiaoyan's voice sounded a little unpleasant. "Okay, well, then you remember to come on time tomorrow, good night." Du Yue finished speaking and hung up the phone quickly. Wiping the sweat that didn't exist on her forehead, Du Yue couldn't help thinking, what's wrong with the big man? Although my heart is terribly curious, but the bosses matter. I don't know, and I dare not ask. After Du Yue blew her hair, she left the matter behind and went to sleep in her beauty sleep. Tomorrow is the first time she will go back to school after being born again. She has to recharge her energy. The school's 520 prom started at 7 o'clock in the evening. After 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Sun Xiaoxiao started calling Du Yue and asked her when she went to school. Du Yue was still drinking afternoon tea in the garden at the moment, and said to Sun Xiaoxiao without hesitation, "I'm still preparing. I will definitely be there before 7. Okay, call me when you arrive at school, I'll pick you up." Well, I'm hanging up. Du Yue hung up the phone, checked the time, and called the stylist upstairs to help her styling. This time the hair stylist made her a coiled hair with a delicate head flower on the side. Du Yue is satisfied with this hairstyle, looks so pure and unpretentious. The dress that the costume designer matched for her is also white, with a simple and not bloated design, but the details are full of ingenuity. Because the shape of her body is almost all white, the makeup artist deliberately used a dark eyeshadow to embellish her when she made up, and the lipstick also chose a warmer berry color lip gloss. After finishing the styling, Du Yue greeted her family and embarked on her journey. In the morning, she deliberately visited the campus forum, and the group of unlearned dudes actually voted for her and bet she would come tonight. Du Yue clicked in and watched. Thousands of people in the school took part in the voting, and she was held that she would come, only less than 5%. Smiley face. Du Yue dialed her bangs and got into the car with her bag. "Oh, scum, your sister Du is back." When Du's car drove into the school, it attracted the attention of some students, and everyone wondered if it was Du Yue's car. The driver directly sent Du Yue to the venue where the dance was held. It was 6:40 at this time, and the dance officially started in 20 minutes. Du Yue sat in the car for a while and sent a message to Sun Xiaoxiao by the way. After a while, Sun Xiaoxiao ran out of the venue, bent over and knocked on Du Yue's car window. "Yue, you are finally here." Du Yue smiled at her and asked her, "Would you like to come up and sit down? We will go over when the prom starts." Sun Xiaoxiao said anxiously, "You can still sit still. Han Jing and Zhang Xingza are here, and there are many people around them." "Humph, don't they just want to have a relationship with Zhang Jia?" Du Yue didn't speak. There were many people who wanted to have a relationship with Zhang Jiapan, not worse than those in the school. Sun Xiaoxiao poked his head and looked in her car. "Where is your dancing partner? Are you here alone?" "Well, he will come by himself later." "Oh." Sun Xiaoxiao's thoughts turned around and asked her tentatively, "Who did you call?" Du Yue smiled and said, you'll know when he comes. All right. Knowing that Du Yue couldn't find anyone, Sun Xiaoxiao knocked on her car door again and urged, "You get down first. The dance will begin soon." Du Yue checked the time, opened the door and walked down. She started to sit in the car. Sun Xiaoxiao couldn't see her whole body, and now she got down, she could see her outfit completely. Unexpectedly, she was still dressed so well today. Sun Xiaoxiao's face changed, and finally she smiled. "Yue, you look so good today. Absolutely throw away that Panjing 10 Street. Thank you." Du Yue also smiled at her. Sun Xiaoxiao took her hand and walked towards the venue, thinking in her heart, what if she looks good? Anyway, I will be ashamed after a while. Walking into the venue, Du Yue found that there were many people in the middle of the venue, all of them were directed at Zhang Shengze. Pan Jing stood by his side, and followed him with a lot of light. Sun Xiaoxiao held Du Yue and led her in the direction of Pan Jing and Zhang Shengze. Du Yue walked halfway and stopped. Sun Xiaoxiao looked at her sideways and asked incomprehensibly, "What's the matter?" Du Yue smiled and said, "Don't walk too far inside, and I won't find me when my partner comes." "Oh, okay." Sun Xiaoxiao didn't go any further, but along the way, many people were already whispering in Du Yue's direction. "Look, Du Yue is actually here." Yeah, she didn't expect her cheeks to be quite thick. "If I changed to me, I would definitely not come. She seems to have come alone. There is no male companion." Ha 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 laughed so hard at me. Is she going to dance with Sun Xiaoxiao later? The voice of the students talking came over. Du Yue didn't respond much, but Sun Xiaoxiao seemed out of anger. "Yue, you heard it all. If you don't come to school these days, they talk ill of you everywhere." Du Yue patted the back of her hand and pulled out her hand. "If they like to say it, let them say it. Xiaoxiao, don't you have a dancing partner? Go find him and leave me alone." "But it's okay, I'll wait here." Sun Xiaoxiao considered it for a while and said, "Well then, my partner is over there. Come to us if you have something to do." "Okay." After Sun Xiaoxiao left, Du Yue took out her mobile phone to check the time again. There were still 5 minutes before the dance began. The gangster shouldn't let her pigeons go. After they called last night, she saved the other party's number. She thought for a while and sent a text message to that number. "Good evening, big guy, are you on the road?" Smiley face. The big man replied in seconds, "How many times do you want me to say? I will not regret what I promised. I'm sorry to disturb you." Smiley face. Du Yue was very standard quickly. As soon as she put the phone back in her bag, the dressed-up host walked onto the stage and began to make the prologue. The lights on the scene became more dreamy than before, and with the music played by the band, the students cheered. At the end of the passionate opening remarks, the host took the microphone to announce that tonight's dance party has officially begun, and everyone can invite your favorite people to dance. As if waiting for these words, after the host's voice fell, Zhang Xingze walked to Pan Jing and made a gesture of inviting her to dance. When the classmates around them saw this, they all screamed. After Pan Jing and Zhang Xingze entered the dance floor, more and more people began to dance with them, but there were also many people watching Du Yue's jokes. "Look over there, Du Yue really came here alone. After being abandoned by Zhang Xingze, she got so miserable. Otherwise, who else can she call? Who can challenge Zhang Xingze? It's not a shame to come. That said, you see Du Yue standing alone, it's so pitiful." Du Yue heard these words in her ears. She persuaded herself to be patient and stood still and waited for Zhang Xiaoyan. Zhang Xiaoyan's car stopped at the entrance of the venue. Gao Yi helped him open the car door and bowed to him and said, "Boss, here it is." "Yeah." Zhang Xiaoyan took his long legs and got out of the car. After Gao Yi closed the door for him, he followed behind him and walked towards the venue together. The students at the door were stunned when they saw Zhang Xiaoyan walking all the way. Damn, where does this cool handsome guy come from? It's 2A. Not only A, but also his clothes and the car he rides in, all reveal his body. Copies. Do not. Where? The girls exchanged eyes with excitement. They wanted to go up and talk but didn't dare. The boys also looked at him up and down, wondering who he was. Zhang Xiaoyan seemed to be totally unaware, as he stepped straight up the steps and walked in. Du Yue heard a small noise coming from the door and looked over. Zhang Xiaoyan was wearing a three-piece suit and appeared in her field of vision just like when she first saw it. Only this time, he walked to her side by step by step. From the moment Zhang Xiaoyan stepped into the gate of the venue, the eyes that had been around Zhang Xingze before were all concentrated on him. No one knows who he is, and no one knows why he appeared here, but he just couldn't help being attracted to him. Du Yue, like other laymen, looked dazed by Zhang Xiaoyan. Zhang Xiaoyan walked to her and stood still, looked at her a few times, and then asked, "Why, are you still dancing?" Du Yue coughed, swallowed by the way, and smiled at him, "Jump." Zhang Xiaoyan stretched out her hand, Du Yue's heartbeat quickly put her hand into his broad palm, and he was led to the dance floor. After being sluggish for 3 seconds, the classmates exploded collectively. What's the situation? This super domineering handsome guy turned out to be Du Yue's dancing partner. Not only the classmates on the edge of the dance floor were stunned, but even the dancers looked at their direction, and then couldn't keep up with their rhythm and stepped on the feet of their partners frequently. Zhang Xingze, who has been held in the moon by the stars, also changed his face at this moment. How could this person come here? Still dancing with Du Yue? The first group of classmates in the meeting place had already taken pictures of Du Yue and Zhang Xiaoyan with their mobile phones desperately. Du Yue thought she should be like a proud little princess right now, enjoying the envy of everyone. But now she is full of eyes on the man who is leading her to dance, and she has no thoughts about other things. Unworthy Rich Girl Chapter 8. Your dance is so ordinary, so you are embarrassed to come to the dance party. Zhang Xiaoyan suddenly said after a half-dance with Du Yue. Du Yue's smile stiffened, and she tried to keep the corners of her mouth up and asked him, "Why, did I step on you?" Zhang Xiaoyan said, "If you step on your partner, then you will not be called ordinary, it will be very bad." As soon as the voice fell, the boy next to them stepped on his dancing partner. "What? Sorry. Zhang Xiaoyan rewarded them with a glimpse, and said to Du Yue, "It seems that the student dances in your school are very bad, and you still have the confidence to hold a dance party." Du Yue. They don't dance for competitions. Besides, he is someone who doesn't even know about 520. What qualifications does he have to complain about? Why do I hear you scolding me in your heart? Du Yue's heart almost jumped out. You got it wrong. I obviously praise you crazy in my heart. Oh. If you don't believe me, listen again. Zhang Xiaoyan. They had a nutritious conversation here, watching their dancing students and discussing in full swing. Fuck, who is this handsome guy dancing with Du Yue? He's even more handsome than Zhang Xingze. Yes, Zhang Xingze was beaten down in front of him. I really want to be led by him to dance. What is the relationship between him and Du Yue? Du Yue did not hear their conversation. After a dance, she was led out of the dance floor by Zhang Xiaoyan. She smiled at the person in front of her and said sincerely, "Thank you for coming to dance with me tonight." Yeah. Zhang Xiaoyan nodded faintly, without even saying the polite, "No thanks," and assigned Du Yue the task again. "I asked Gao Yi to check it, you have no class tomorrow afternoon, and I will send someone to pick you up on time." Song. It is good. Boss, Zhang Xingze is here. Gao Yi attached to Zhang Xiaoyan's ear and whispered to him. Du Yue also saw Zhang Xingze, and her heart suddenly shook. She subconsciously pushed Zhang Xiaoyan's arm and wanted him to go. "The dance is over, you go first, I will go to record the song tomorrow." Gao Yi looked at her hand on Zhang Xiaoyan's arm, and the corners of her mouth twitched. "This friend, how come you still get started?" Zhang Xiaoyan also had dissatisfaction in her heart, but it was not because she pushed herself this way. "Why, am I so shameful for you?" "No." Seeing that the boss still didn't know anything, Du Yue quickly lowered her voice and said to him, "The person who came now is Zhang Xingze." Zhang Xiaoyan expressionlessly, "What happened then?" "He is from the Zhang family." Zhang Xiaoyan's eyebrows finally moved. "Oh, what happened to the Zhang family?" "The people of the Zhang family are terrible. They are ruthless executioners. They kill people without seeing blood. Takano. This lady, I think you are going to finish. Oh. Zhang Xiaoyan's, oh, made Gao Yi frightened. Zhang Xingze had walked in front of Zhang Xiaoyan during their conversation. Du Yue was ready to sacrifice her life and took a step forward bravely, intending to stand in front of Zhang Xiaoyan. Then she saw that Zhang Xingze pointed straight at Zhang Xiaoyan and called, Uncle 7. Du Yue, huh? Du Yue's mind started to crash. When other classmates saw Zhang Xingze deliberately greet him, their doubts grew. Originally thought he was just handsome, but now it seems that his background is bigger than they thought, and even Zhang Xingze must treat him respectfully. Zhang Xiaoyan looked as usual and nodded flatly towards Zhang Xingze. Zhang Xingze asked politely, why did Uncle 7 come here? Zhang Xiaoyan said, did you not see it just now? I'm here to dance with my partner. Zhang Xingze had a lot of thoughts in his heart, but he didn't dare to say a word. Finally, he looked at the dance partner, Zhang Xiaoyan said, Du Yue, who had been standing next to him. Du Yue was still in the downtime, completely ignoring the look in his inquiring eyes. The dance is over, I'll go first, you play slowly. Zhang Xiaoyan turned and walked away, and took away Du Yue who was crashing. After the two of them left, Pan Jing came up from behind carrying their skirts, looked at their backs and asked, Xingze, who is that man? Zhang Xingze also looked at the direction they were leaving, and said indifferently, my 7th uncle. Uncle 7. Pan Jing covered her mouth in surprise. The man was so young and handsome, with extraordinary temperament, he turned out to be Zhang Xingze's uncle. He looks less than 30 years old, how could he be your 7th uncle? He was born to a young woman when my grandfather was in his 50s. No one dared to mention this in the Zhang family, but he was still involved with a young woman in his 50s and gave birth as a child. The Zhang family still had many ideas in their hearts. It turned out to be like this. Pan Jing murmured and nodded while looking at the direction Zhang Xiaoyan was leaving. Zhang Xingze glanced at her, and he twitched the corner of his mouth lukewarmly. Why, do you like him? Pan Jing was taken aback for a moment, then turned around and took his arm and said, Xingze, what are you talking about? You know that I only like you. I'm just curious, how did he come together with Du Yue? Zhang Xingze pursed his lips, his eyes gradually sinking, I'm also very curious about this. On the other side, Du Yue followed Zhang Xiaoyan to his car. The night breeze outside was a bit cold, Du Yue blew the hair, and finally recovered. I seem to hear Zhang Xingze calling you 7th uncle. What's wrong with Zhang Xingze? People are obviously so young, so he just opened his mouth and called them uncle. Zhang Xiaoyan said, you heard that right. He glanced at the car parked by the garden and asked her, is that Du's car? Du Yue followed him and nodded mechanically. Zhang Xiaoyan said, Gao Yi, you sent her over. Yes. Gao Yi walked to Du Yue's side and said to her, Miss Du, please. Oh. Du Yue followed him and climbed into the car. After the Du's car drove away, Gao Yi walked back to Zhang Xiaoyan's side and said to him, Boss, Miss Du seems to have been hit hard. Zhang Xiaoyan gave an inaudible chuckle and ordered, go. Yes. Zhang Xiaoyan stayed in Du Yue's school for a short dance, leaving behind endless legends. Sun Xiaoxiao was also stunned. Du Yue robbed Du Yue of the show of the dance party, and her dance partner was even more impressive. Sun Xiaoxiao wondered, where did Du Yue find such a partner? After Du Yue left, she kept calling Du Yue, but the other party never answered. Du Yue is now caught in the biggest problem in life. Seeing her coming back in despair, Jiang Manlin walked up and asked her with concern, Girl, what's the matter? Did someone bully you again when you went to school today? Today Du Yue said that she was going to school. She and her child and her father were a little worried. But Du Yue has been at home for so many days, it is impossible not to go to school all the time. Tonight is the 520 dance party held by the school. It is a good opportunity to return to campus. But looking at Du Yue's face, things seem to be not going smoothly. Girl, it's okay. If it doesn't work, let's go to another school. Jiang Manlin took her to the sofa and sat down and asked Akio to pour her a cup of hot water. Du Jingting also stayed in the living room, obviously waiting for her here with Jiang Manlin. Du Youwei's nose was slightly sour, and she took a sip of hot water before she said to them, "Dad, Mom, I'm fine. Today is going well at school." Jiang Manlin and Du Jingting exchanged glances, and they seemed to be even more confused. "Then what's wrong with you? Why don't you stay away?" Du Youwei pondered for a while, and asked carefully, "Dad, Mom, do you know who Zhang Xing's seventh uncle is?" "Master Qi." Du Jingting heard her mention this person, his expression also became serious. "How did you think of asking him?" "Dad, do you know him?" Du Youwei leaned sideways, looking at Du Jingting who was sitting on the sidelines. "Is he good?" "It's not just amazing. He is the youngest son of Mrs. Zhang. Because he is ranked 7th, everyone calls him his 7th. Now Mrs. Zhang has basically retired. He is in charge of Zhang's affairs." Du Youwei swallowed and digested his father's words. So, he is the boss of the Zhang family. Let's put it this way, although there are still a few older brothers in front of him, he is the only one that Grandpa Zhang looks after. Du Jingting said this, and confessed to Du Youwei uneasy, "Daughter, he is a figure we cannot afford to offend. You didn't provoke him, did you?" He, how can I get a chance to provoke such a big person?" "Mom and Dad, I'm going upstairs first." Du Youwei finished speaking, ran back to her room in a hurry, and threw herself on the big bed. "She's done. It's really over. I thought it would be fine if I stayed away from Zhang Xingze, but she provokes an even worse one. Is she still in front of him today, saying that the Zhang family are all ruthless executioners? God, can she do it again?" Smiley face. Du Youwei buried her head deep in the pillow and yelled silently. The phone she tossed aside shook like a madness. Du Youwei didn't even look at it. After the vibration of the phone stopped, it was quiet for 2 seconds before it rang again. Du Youwei was annoyed by the quarrel, finally reached out, touched the phone and picked it up. "Hello?" Du Youwei said weakly. The person on the other end of the phone was silent for a moment before he said, "You are planning to cross the river and demolish the bridge, and you won't answer my call after dancing, right?" Du Youwei was agitated and sat up with a swish. "No, boss, I was in the shower just now, and I didn't hear it." Zhang Xiaoyan didn't explore the truth of what she said, but just gave her a license plate to let her remember, "Come to pick up your car tomorrow, don't make a mistake." "Good boss." Du Youwei said, and coughed weakly. "Well, can you say it again?" "I'll find a small notebook to write it down." Zhang Xiaoyan. If Takano were like her, he would have to repeat everything several times, and he would have been expelled long ago. "I'll send it to you later." After Zhang Xiaoyan finished speaking, he hung up the phone, and then Du Youwei received a text message on Du Youwei's cell phone with the time and location of the license plate written on it. Du Youwei finished checking, and replied, "Understand." In the past, she collapsed on her bed again. Forget it, the boss can't afford to offend, but she can afford to hide, and when she helps him finish recording the song, they will be cleared. Unworthy Rich Girl Chapter 9. I don't know if the stimulation was too great today. Du Youwei actually had a nightmare again at night. In the 2 days after she was reborn, she would dream of jumping into the sea, but tonight she no longer dreamed of these, but dreamed that the big Zhang family turned into a huge monster. Facing her again it was fire breathing and roaring, and finally a fire burned her money. This is worse than her jumping into the sea. Du Youwei was shocked to wake up, and quickly looked at the bank card balance and was shocked. At this time, it was still dark. She lay on the bed and dared not go to sleep again, and watched the sun rise. At dawn, Jin Ingjun opened her door like a fine, squatted at the door, barking, and yelling for her to get up. There are classes at school today, and Du Youwei can finally go back to school, but she doesn't want to be late. She got up, washed, dressed, had breakfast, and went to school. After last night's battle, the students' attitude towards her changed drastically. Not only did they stop being cynic, but also greeted her amiably. Du Youwei responded lukewarm, behaving very insultingly. When they arrived in the classroom, the classmates who had been talking to Pan Jing came forward to talk to her. "Youwei, you were so beautiful last night. Yes, no girl in the school can compare to you." Your dancing partner is also the most handsome in the audience, you two are really good match. Pan Jing sneered in her heart after listening to these compliments. These rich children really met the windshield. She unscrewed the pen fiercely and began to write and draw on the book. Du Yue hasn't forgotten how these people said about themselves on the forum before, and only smiled at them perfunctorily. Sun Xiaoxiao knew that Du Yue's class was in this classroom, and ran over to look for her, Yue. She waved to Du Yue, motioned her to come out. Du Yue put down her things, went out and asked her, Xiao Xiao, what's the matter? Sun Xiaoxiao took her hand and looked like she had a good relationship with her. Why didn't you answer my call last night? I called you many times. Du Yue let out an oh and casually said, my phone ran out of power last night, what are you looking for? Sun Xiaoxiao lowered her voice mysteriously and asked her, is the person who danced with you last night from the Zhang family? You don't know. Yesterday someone posted a photo of you dancing together on the campus forum. Soon they were all deleted, and even the people who posted were banned. The students in this school are all human beings. Seeing this posture, they knew that this matter could not be discussed, so they shut up obediently. Du Yue really didn't know about this, but based on that person's background, deleting a post and a name is not just a matter of moving her little finger. No, shreds of hair. The prom is over, these are not important anymore. Du Yue didn't want to tell Sun Xiaoxiao about it. She looked down at the hand Sun Xiaoxiao was holding her eyes moved slightly. Xiaoxiao, how does this bracelet look like a hair band processed and transformed? Sun Xiaoxiao subconsciously withdrew his hand and hid behind him. Where is it? It's just a gadget, you must look down on it. Du Yue smiled and did not ask any more questions. She remembers the one on the forum with the rhythm black hair. The ID is called Sweet Hair Tie, right? Classes are going to happen soon, we will talk later. Sun Xiaoxiao waved to Du Yue and left her classroom. The 4 classes in the morning were the most serious class Du Yue had listened to in her life, and even the teacher was surprised. Du Yue has her own considerations. After the Du family went bankrupt in her last life, her life was miserable. She also wanted to go out and find something to do to help the family make more money. But when she stepped into society, she realized that she didn't know anything at all. She has no ability to make money at all. In this life, she can no longer waste time at will, and money will not fall from the sky by herself. If the Du's business is not good in the future, she can still make money on her own, which is considered a double insurance. Let's start from the test without failing the subject. Because she had an appointment with the boss in the afternoon to record a song, she never returned home at noon, and ate something in the school cafeteria. After eating, she even went to the study room to study for a while. Seeing that it was almost time, she packed her things and left the study room. As soon as she left the teaching building, she saw Zhang Xingze and Zhang Xingze's car. He may have come to wait for Pan Jing. Du Yue saw Pan Jing in the study room just now. Pan Jing was admitted to this university with 8 major successes and has been studying very hard. Before, although Du Yue didn't like Zhang Xingze, she still felt that others could see it. But now, she feels that others are also very ordinary, and she doesn't know why she thought his face was okay before. Without stopping her steps, she directly bypassed Zhang Xingze and his car and walked outside. After hugging my 7th uncle's thigh, people are really different. Zhang Xingze took off the big sunglasses on his face, and said in a weird way. Du Yue ignored him, just walked her own way. Seeing that she directly ignored herself, Zhang Xingze felt even more angry. Du Yue, don't think you can enter Zhang's house by dancing with him. How much do you know about him? Du Yue finally turned her head and looked at him with a faint smile. Oh, isn't this Zhang Xingze? Are you not the most annoying to see me? Today, waiting here to talk to me, what kind of wind is it blowing? Du Yue wanted to say, what is the crime, but she swallowed after the words reached her lips. For that matter, Zhang Xingze is also like a cat whose tail is stepped on, desperate to have a seizure, and endure it again. I see that we have some friendship, kindly come over to remind you. You may not know it yet. My 7th uncle already has a man named Lin Qian next to him. It's not good to be a baby. He bought her a suite in the city center and played the game of Jin Wu Cangjiao. Du Yue knew for the first time that Zhang Xing's mouth was so broken. She smiled at him and asked, "Does he know what you said about his gossip behind your seventh uncle?" Zhang Xing's expression really changed. He put on his sunglasses again and opened the door. "Anyway, I reminded you. It's up to you if you listen." Du Yue chuckled in her heart. What about Lin Qian's dog? Does it have anything to do with her? After recording the song this afternoon, she disappeared with him. Humph. "Miss Du, the boss asked me to pick you up." A woman's voice suddenly came from the side. Du Yue followed the voice and saw a well-dressed working woman. "You are?" "I'm the boss's secretary, my last name is Hu, you can call me Secretary Hu." Secretary Hu smiled professionally at her and pointed to a black car next to her. "Please get in the car." Du Yue followed her, and deliberately walked around in front of the car and looked at the license plate. After matching the license plate sent by the boss last night, she climbed into the car. Secretary Hu. Along the way, the two of them did not speak, and Secretary Hu glanced through the rearview mirror without a trace, looking at Du Yue in the back row. She has been with the boss for 6 years, and only helped him pick up 2 women. One is Lin Qian, and the other is today's Miss Du. Lin Qian is Lin Hui's younger sister, and the boss naturally treats her differently. This Miss Du. Thinking of Gao Tezu's expression of hesitation when he confessed that he came to pick her up, wouldn't she be the boss's wife in the future? This idea was so shocking, Secretary Hu himself was taken aback. After arriving at the place, Secretary Hu got out of the car first and helped Du Yue open the car door. "Miss Du, here it is." "Oh, thank you." Du Yue stepped out of the car, and looked at the building in front of her with a whisper. "This is the most famous record company in City A. The big guys do things differently. They have to come to such a professional place to record a song." Secretary Hu took her to the recording studio, where there was only one recording engineer. "The boss will be here soon. You can wait here for a while." "Oh, yes, the song to be recorded later is Mo Tianwang's, Unreachable, you should already know it." "Yeah." The boss first took away her album of Mo Tianwang at a high price of 10 million, and now let her come to the recording studio to record Mo Tianwang's song. It seems that the boss really likes Mo Tianwang. Secretary Hu settled her down and went outside to wait for Zhang Xiaoyan. Almost the moment she walked out of the building, Zhang Xiaoyan's car stopped downstairs. "Boss." Secretary Hu saw him and Gao Yi get out of the car and followed. Zhang Xiaoyan nodded and asked her, "Has anyone received it?" "I got it, I'm waiting for you in the recording studio." "Okay. There's one more thing." Secretary Hu thought for a while, and then said, "When I went to pick up Miss Du, she was with Zhang Xingze." Zhang Xiaoyan frowned slightly. "Zhang Xingze?" He snorted coldly, and said nothing. Du Yue was in friendly communication with the recording engineer, when the door of the room was suddenly pushed open. Seeing the big suit boss walking in, Du Yue stood straight. "Good big boss." Zhang Xiaoyan did not respond to her, but said, "When you are ready, start as soon as possible." The sound engineer didn't dare to neglect, and quickly let Du Yue into the studio. Du Yue recorded a song in the studio for the first time, and she was still a little nervous. She put on the earphones and sang a single sentence before being called to a halt by Zhang Xiaoyan standing outside. "It's out of tune." Du Yue looked at him suspiciously. "Did she go out of tune?" "Come over." Zhang Xiaoyan has completely mastered the voice of the recording studio. He said that if the tune is out of tune, it is out of tune. The music started again, and Du Yue only sang one more sentence before being called off again. "Are you a robot? Don't be too mad and I will tell you, I won't record if you do this." "Okay, boss." Du Yue said with a smile. For the third time, with just one sentence, Boss Zhang called again. Du Yue smiled and asked, "What's wrong this time?" Zhang Xiaoyan said, "There is nothing wrong, but I am a ruthless executioner. I kill people without seeing blood. I just want you to start again." Du Yue. What is self-inflicted? This is called self-inflicted, smiley face. When the prelude sounded for the fourth time, Du Yue thought that she had bought the memoirs of singer Ding Meng. The situation recorded in it was the same as it is now. Fortunately, after she came back for the fourth time, Zhang Xiaoyan finally did not embarrass her again. After she finished singing, she came out of the booth and said to Zhang Xiaoyan, "What other instructions do you have?" Zhang Xiaoyan said, "It's gone for the time being, I will contact you again if necessary." One sentence stunned Du Yue again. She thought that the two of them would no longer meet after today. What does it mean to need to contact her again in the future? She pursed her lips, and bravely asked the question in her heart, in the future, what else is needed? Zhang Xiaoyan glanced at her, "Are you not responsible for after-sales after you have recorded the song?" It was the first time she heard of this kind of thing by Du Yue. "No problem, boss." Du Yue still smiled and said. Zhang Xiaoyan looked at her again, and his thin lips lightly opened, "Don't keep yelling from big bosses." Then. 7 Masters. I have a name, Zhang Xiaoyan.